Thousands of you enjoyed the NHL opening week $9 special, so it's only fair that we offer the NBA fans the same deal. Every NBA daily package for the opening week through Monday, October 25th is just $9. That's right, you will not be paying $25 for a package, nor will you be paying $35 for 5% best bets for the opening week of the NBA, as all daily basketball packages are only $9. Make sure to tune in every Monday through Friday for the NBA tip-off show on WagerTalk TV, and then save and start the NBA season with a slam dunk deal.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I am Lawrence Presman, that handsome older guy. Teddy covers. Teddy, man, big night for me tonight, brother. I missed yesterday's show. I heard it was outstanding. It was all over the news.
Yeah, probably the best show we've had.
Oh, no doubt, dude. I mean, any show without the Prez is going to be the best show you've ever had. I mean, come on. Anyway.
Certainly top three.
Nice win by Cleveland last night. Did you take advantage of it? Any winners in the NFL?
Well, if you want to talk about what bettors learned last night, and Prez, you pump your show all the time. I'm pumping my show right here. Why do you watch the NFL opening line report every week? Because if you did, you won with Denver last night instead of losing with Denver last night. We had an emergency betting alert on that game right at the top of the show. Said, this line's going down. It went from 4.5, 5 down to 1.5, even pick them in some shops last night. And it made all the difference between whether you cashed your winning bet on Denver or whether you lost your losing bet on Denver. Betting skills, not handicapping skills, were the difference last night. And of course, the NFL opening line report every Monday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time, one for you on the East Coast, will help you get on the right side of those. I also learned something about the NBA last night, Prez. The NBA is going to make you crazy. Not that we learned that it was reinforced once again last night. I've been trying to get plays up early. I've been trying to put up plays overnight. So what I do, I like Milwaukee in this little point spread range. Road favorites, 1.5 to 2.5. I play them on the money line. That's the only ones I do like that in the NBA is road favorites in that very specific range between 1.5 and 2.5 point favorites. So I laid $1.30 with the Bucks. And then Milwaukee started sitting everyone. And then they opened up the game and let Miami go on a 19-0 run. And it was over in the first quarter. I mean, that game was done. And I'm laying 130 in a game where Milwaukee ends up as the underdog. Those will happen. Unfortunately, they do. And I'm still going to post overnight when I can this year. It's worth the occasional disaster because more often than not, you'll get the best of it. But that being said, I did not get the best of it yesterday for myself or my clients when it came to the NBA. We did, however, get the best of it in the NFL. What about you, Prez? What did you learn last night?
Well, Teddy, you talk about the NBA being frustrating, and it's like I felt that way about hockey last night. I did go 1-1-1, so I didn't have a bad night. But man, you play these overs in hockey, and a team hits like 5 goalposts in the second period, and all you want to do is just pull your hair out because you just can't account for that stuff. It's unbelievable. But I got the NFL daily, the NFL Presidential address up last night. I got a ton of great comments, but I do want to single out one comment, Teddy. A really good dude writes, Prez, his name is Tony C. God, you suck. Have some balls and pick a winner, damn it. Dude, listen, I'm guessing the guy, I don't know where this guy's from, but what would possess someone from such nonsense? Like, I know
exactly what would.
Hold on, let me finish. I know it gives me the perfect opportunity to mention that I have picked 67 winners, you schmuck, and 42 losers. I know it gives me a great chance to mention that I am 13-4 in best bets on that show and 4-1 in teasers. What the hell is this guy talking about, bro?
It's simple, Prez. If you watch you on the screen talking for more than what? A couple of minutes at a time, you're going to start getting angry. And it's going to end up on your keyboard.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just you. It's
That
just your
makes
personality.
Sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
So to summarize, everybody, if you're not as handsome as me, not as rich as me, don't look as good as me, don't have biceps like that, don't have a great job, don't have a lot of incredible friends, when you see me, you get angry. Tony C., I'm sorry for the position you find yourself in. Anyway, Teddy, I got my first 5% play in NHL up for tonight. I am so freaking pumped about it. You have no idea. And I do want to just let everybody know I got a promo code for you all to get a sizable discount on it. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Use the promo code Prez20. Prez20, and you get $16. I don't know why they made it $16 off, but you get $16 off of the price of that 5% NHL play. You guys all know how good my 5% plays have been for like 2.5 years or something. So please take advantage of that. What do you got going tonight?
Don't we have a promo code for everybody that gives everybody a whole big discount who's on the show today? That might even be a better deal than your Prez 20.
We do. But we were going to do that when we brought Rob Veno in. So let's bring Rob Veno in. Oh, Rob Veno is not coming, and he shut down his computer. So, okay, well, let's give out the code. Special for Friday. Get anyone on the show today for 3 days for the price of one. $39. Use the promo code WEEKEND39. Guys, that's 3 days for $39. I have a 5% NHL play up tonight. I have a 5% up on Sunday. And I got a lot of action. So take advantage of that for me. And you, Teddy, what do you got going?
Yeah, so that promo code again is Weekend
39.
Sure. So you type that in at checkout. If you want to get anyone who's on the show today, that is myself, Lawrence, Rob Veno, the Skee Profit, and Andy Lang. Any of the five of us, the full weekend, 3 days, $39, all inclusive. That includes any 5% plays. Prez, I know you have a couple up. I've got one up as well. For tonight, I got 3 up in the NBA. For the weekend, I got 6 in college football, and only a pair in the NFL on Sunday, but one of them is a 5% big.
Teddy covers. We're having some issues with Rob. We'll get it sorted out. We'll talk some NFL. I just want to give a shout out to everyone. Thanks for joining the chat, guys. Thanks for watching the show. Please hit that like button. Paul W says, love you, Prez, but do you have an inside voice? Oh, Paul, my inside voice is louder than my outside voice. God, the screaming in my head never stops, Teddy.
Yeah. Yes, I'm well aware.
Okay, dude, let's talk Cincinnati and Baltimore. -6, 46.5. I'm going to ask you, man. I mean, I spoke about it in depth on the presidential address. Guys can go listen to my take on it. What do you like in this game? I think this is a big game.
So I, too, spoke about it in depth on the opening line report, Prez. So
yeah!
Why don't you tell our Wager Talk Today, the listeners, what you think about the game?
Well, I think Cincinnati has a chance to win this game, Teddy. I think I know that Baltimore is going on a bye, but they've just come off of 2 very important wins. And I think this is a bad spot for Baltimore. I like this Cincinnati team, dude. I actually think we're seeing the culture of this team change right in front of our eyes. I know they're a hard luck team over the last, many, many years, but they're not Detroit. Chase and Burrows look absolutely outstanding. But the thing that really has impressed me is their pass rush. I mean, this team has an absolutely nasty pass rush so far. I think the Cincinnati team has turned the corner, man. I think they're going to be great for years and years to come. And you look at the Ravens, I mean, their D, they looked so bad for the first 5 games. 28th ranked D in the league against the pass. Then they hold Herbert to 200 yards in passing. But this is why you got to watch football games. You can't just look at the box score. If you watch that football game, Herbert was completely out of sync. He was overthrowing, underthrowing, sideways throwing. I felt like he was his worst enemy more than the Baltimore defense. I think Cincinnati is super, super live in this game. And to be honest with you, I think it's worth throwing a little bit on the money line. As you can tell, I'm pretty high on Cincinnati. What's your take?
So Cincinnati was on my short list this week, and I did not end up pulling the trigger on the Cincinnati Bengals. The last 3 times these teams have met, let me get these final scores. I've got, sorry, I lost the one. The first one of the 3. 49-13. That was the good one for Cincinnati because they got to 13. 27-3 and 38-3 last year. Not just beatdowns, absolute smackdowns where the Bengals had absolutely no chance. For me, Baltimore is very much a rhythm team. We've seen it throughout the course of the John Harbaugh era. When the Ravens start to click, they can click for a month at a time, and they can reel off 4 or 5 wins and covers in a row. And when they're out of sync, they can not click for 4 or 5 weeks at a time. And we can bet against them for a period of time. And right now, Baltimore is playing some pretty good football. So you put the 2 factors together, Cincy's real struggles against this team and Baltimore's ability to string together good performances and their track record of doing that in the Harbaugh era. And that's why the Bengals were left on the lean list and not an actual play for Sunday.
Yeah, and it's funny because right now I've only put 1 play up, but it is reasonable that I will actually be releasing Cincinnati to my clients, and I had that play singled out for the daily presidential address. Rob Vito's joining us. Rob, welcome to the show, and right off the bat, man, let's just start right away with Cincinnati and Baltimore. I know it's a game you did not plan to talk about, but I'm curious if you have a take on this game.
Well, I think you have to like where Cincinnati's headed, guys, and they pose a threat to Baltimore just because of the balanced offense. That Baltimore secondary can always be had. Now that Jamar Chase has chimed in, there's multiple receivers. I mean, you don't hear as much about Boyd and Higgins anymore with Chase every single week. So, I think they're going to have to block a little better for Mixon, but I find myself leaning towards Cincinnati at this point in time. Anytime the chatter gets really, really loud about one team in particular, which in this case, it's the Ravens, all of a sudden the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, which, I would say it's Buffalo, not the Ravens. But, there's a lot of bandwagoning going on. So I would be on the other side. I think I would lean towards Cincinnati.
Yeah, Robin, that's such a great point, Teddy. Let's talk about that for a sec because we see it every year. All the talk is about Baltimore. That does come into play, Rob, and obviously it skews the lines a little bit as well. Any thoughts on that, Theodore?
So one thing that we want to be careful of when we're talking about all the public and is sometimes you're in your own little bubble. And when we talk about a broader global picture of the betting marketplace, your own little bubble doesn't have quite as much influence as you might think. I'm certainly not opposed to the concept, but when I'm seeing that type of support, I want to see it everywhere. I haven't heard that the same buzz this week on Baltimore that Rob has, which is the only reason I'm saying it.
Teddy covers Rob Veno. Guys, use the coupon code WEEKEND39. You can get me, Teddy, Rob, Andy Lang, any of our plays. And Andy, by the way, Teddy will be joining us after Rob discussing prop bets. Rob, let's start, man. Oklahoma State, Iowa State. You've got something for us on the first half. How do we bet this?
Yeah, I like the home side, Prez. I think that this is finally a situation where, as far as opponents played are concerned, that Oklahoma State finally meets its defensive match. We've all come accustomed now, after a few games, to the fact that Oklahoma State has transformed. They're a run-first offense, which is unlike any Mike Gundy team ever, and they're a defense as an anchor team, which is unlike any Mike Gundy team ever. And they've won mostly all of their games because of their defense. But when you go through numbers, guys, and the schedules are very comparable, so I don't believe that they're skewed. Look at it any way you want. Take out Iowa State's worst opponents and Oklahoma State's worst opponents. Any way you want to size this up, Iowa State's defensive numbers are better. They're only allowing 251 total yards per game at this point in time. And I feel like Oklahoma State's, let's call it methodical offensive approach, may run into a buzzsaw here if they can't run the football because Spencer Sanders just hasn't been good. On the other side, I have Brock Purdy, who's completed 80% of his passes the last 2 weeks. This team lost a couple of games early, games I believe where they outgained their opponent in one of those. So I think in summary here, Prez, it comes down to, in my mind, Oklahoma State wants to run first. Iowa State's got a tremendous run defense, statistically better than the OSU team. And when you put Oklahoma State in the air, it's going to be problematic for them. Iowa State's at home. Oklahoma State comes in with that proverbial bullseye on their chest, right? This is a position that we thought Iowa State would be in to start the season. Big 12 championship game contender. And right now it's Oklahoma State looking for their path into the Big 12 championship game. I think Iowa State gets them here. I think their offense is better. I think their defense is better. Everything that OSU does well, I feel like Iowa State does better. So I'm going to be on that side first half because I think that they come out fired up immediately for this game. And the atmosphere in Ames, Jack Trice Stadium, might be a little too much for Oklahoma State.
So Iowa State has put up some massive yardage differential numbers all year. They had it in the Iowa game. Why? Because they turned the ball over and gave Iowa short field. So they put up a lot more yards than Iowa did. In the Baylor game, they were rallying from behind. Baylor was burning clock. And Iowa State was, furiously rallying. Boom, they're trying to win that game and end up with a big yardage battle. But the only 3 games where they've looked good this year and comfortable, UNLV, Kansas, and last week against Kansas State, none of whom are any good. Sorry, Wildcats backers. K-State's not that good. Whereas Okie State, they faced a Tulsa defense that's good. They went to Boise and won on the road. They beat the Baylor team that Iowa State couldn't beat. And last week against Texas, again, showing resolve, rallying from behind. Sanders gotten better. The receiving corps has gotten healthier. Talk about the Iowa State yardage differential issues and how that, in my opinion, has left this game inflated. You think the point spread is right where it should be or perhaps even low?
Yeah, I think especially first half, Teddy. I mean, I'm sizing this thing down to what I think is going to happen right off the bat. And again, when it's 6-0 inside the conference, it's not a divisional conference, so it's all conference. They come onto your turf, and you were supposed to be that team. I feel like motivationally they'll be ready. Matt Campbell, a very good motivational head coach. Not that Gundy isn't. But, Oklahoma State was life and death with Texas until the fourth quarter last week, a team in Texas that was coming off a huge win against Oklahoma, and a team in Texas that doesn't play a lot of defense, and OSU didn't exactly expose a bad defense. And this is a huge step in class defensively. So, again, I don't want to make the gap sound tremendously wide, but I am going to say this. What Oklahoma State does best, Iowa State, in my mind, does better. And the fact that you can rally with huge yardage numbers against Iowa, one of the best defenses in the nation, once they have a lead, you shouldn't be able to gain yardage against that team. And Baylor, which under Dave Aranda has become a pretty good defensive team, I think that shows pretty well. They have to get out of the gates quick, can't get themselves into a hole. If Oklahoma State gets themselves into the hole they got themselves into against Texas, this will be a ticket I'll cash first half.
Rob Veno, everybody. Rob, how's NBA started for you?
NBA has started 2-1 with a push, buddy. Last night, the Golden State Clippers game hit 228. I had over 228, 133 first half points, and another reason why you cannot count anything before the final gun goes off, because 67-66, You think this is easy. 95 second half points. It wasn't so easy, but we got the push out of it.
Guys, remember we had Rob Veno on Tuesday. We told you then, we'll tell you now, number one most profitable handicapper in NBA last year and the year before, give or take around 250% ROI. Absolutely outstanding stuff. If you guys are playing NBA, you are playing Rob Veno. Speaking of NBA, bro, San Antonio, Denver, a total of 219. You going up or down?
Yeah, and since we, made our plays known to the show, Prez, this one's ticked up a bit, 220.5 right now, but still like it. And I figured I'd bring an NBA play to the party here today because the start of the season. But it's San Antonio, once again, same exact team as last year, right? Very smallish lineup. They're built on talented guards and forwards who can share the ball and score the ball. Very efficient offensively. Not a good defensive team, and I think made a little worse defensively by the fact that they start Doug McDermott now, a scorer first and a defensive player last. But the other day in their season opener, 7 players between 12 and 19 points pretty much explains what I'm saying there. In the middle, they just really don't have an answer for Jokic. Not a lot of teams do, but this team especially doesn't. And the Denver firepower is everywhere inside that starting five. Aaron Gordon, the other night, guys, looked a lot more comfortable in that offense than he looked last year. I think he had 12 points off the top of my head. There's plenty of three-point shooting. The Spurs last season, number 23 in the league, defending the three. They're just not that great at it. And overall shooting percentages, we have one game in this year, but these teams are so similar personnel-wise to what they were closing out 2020 that I think the stat is relevant. San Antonio, 22nd in the league in field goal percentage allowed. Denver, 21st. Both were bottom-tier defensive field goal percentage teams. And with the efficiency on both sides, they don't play at rapid pace, but they score. And so I think that makes a difference here in playing the over. Last season, if you want to go through their 4 games, 3 of them went well over this 220.5. You got a 240, you got a 228, and you got a 258. Only 1 out of 4 stayed under the number. I don't think this one does. I'm playing Denver, San Antonio over this number, 220.5.
So,
Rob,
here's my question for you, Rob.
Teddy's not reading Slack again.
Oh.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Okay. Here's my question for you, Rob. It's a Spurs team that you talked about that they're very similar to last year. There's one big difference, that they don't have DeMar DeRozan down the stretch. And DeRozan was everything for that team offensively. Is this one of those games where you might look at a first half as opposed to a full game because you're worried about San Antonio mucking around in the mud late in this one? Or is this just a full game over?
Yeah, to me, it's a full game over, Teddy. And to offset the absence of DeMar DeRozan, I think when we go back, we'll see that the guard tandem, DeJounte Murray and Derek White, missed a bunch of games last year. 100% healthy now, both of these guys, and that makes up for the scoring absence. McDermott, like I say, filling into that role now. Scorer, not really a defender. I just think it scores points. To me, the number looked too low. Let's put it that way. I thought there's a lot of value in playing over 219.5, and I'll stay there with the push-up.
Rob Veno joining us, everybody. If you want to grab Rob's plays for the next 3 days, use the promo code WEEKEND39. Rob, stay with us, man. Let's talk a little bit of NFL. I want to go through a couple of games with you and Teddy. If you don't want to stay with us, you got like TikTok to make or something, you're welcome to disappear. Anyway, I want to talk Tennessee and KC. I'd love to get your guys' take on this game. -5 at some books, 4.5 at others, a massive total of 57.5. I don't know if there's a prop on how many punts, but I'm saying under 3. I'll tell you right now, I like Tennessee and I like over the total. Rob, you go first. Any quick, and I mean quick, thoughts on this game?
I don't think there's any reason not to like over Prez. The A.J. Brown status, I'm not aware of at this point in time. Wide receiver, I know Julio Jones came back last week, but listen, when you give that running game, a passing game, a full complement of receivers to go with it, they're tremendous. And KC just doesn't play the run. I mean, I can see both ends of what you're saying. Not a lot of faith in Kansas City. And again, I haven't seen the status of Chris Jones the top defensive lineman for KC, who didn't play last week. So I could agree with you on both quickly.
Teddy?
Yeah, I have no argument with your assessment there. And I know that I can't lay with Kansas City. I can't lay 4.5 points with Kansas City on the road right now against a team that can run the football. So from a side standpoint, it's Titans or pass for this better. But I'm not convinced, as Rob was saying, I'm not convinced that Tennessee's going to be any better at stopping the Chiefs than the Chiefs will be at stopping the Titans. So from a side standpoint. But from a total standpoint, the one thing that you do have to worry about, a couple things you have to worry about. Tyreek Hill is banged up. And this isn't one of those games where you're going to have both teams with 12, 13, 14 possessions. This is one of those games where you're going to have both teams with 8 or 9 possessions. And they better be efficient offensively and scoring touchdowns if this game's going to get up and over the total.
Yeah,
guys, I'll add one more.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'll add one more total concern real quick, Prez. And I don't know that you can handicap this, but the amount of turnovers Kansas City has had in opposing territory this year is insane.
Yeah.
That game should have gone over last week, but they continue to move up and down the field and turn it over. So that's a tough handicap there to tell what they're going to do this week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Indianapolis, San Francisco, -4 for San Fran, coming off of a bye. We had Ralph Michaels on a few weeks ago. He did a deep dive into the advantage of coming off of a bye, and he found none. 43.5, 43 is the total. Rob, any quick thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think Indianapolis, is in total scramble mode right now to get victories. They did last week. I don't think going on the road phases this team. Wentz in the offense looks a lot better than the odds makers think. I thought that this total might be a little low the way Indianapolis is playing offense right now. You get T.Y. Hilton back last week to go with Michael Pittman and the other receivers. So I can't play against Indianapolis right now, Prez, because I think that they are in that corner type territory where they have to win. Yeah,
and I'm with you, dude. I agree as well. And I actually think, and you guys should go check it out, I think Indy to win the division is a good value bet right at this particular moment. And the reason is, go take a look at Tennessee's next 5 games. Go take a look at Indy's next 5 games. They're getting back into this thing. Teddy, any quick take on this game?
Yeah, because there's only one thing to talk about for the Sunday night game, and that's the weather forecast in the Bay Area, which is torrential downpours, heavy winds, etc., etc. All right, this game is not likely to feature a whole lot of passing. So it's going to come down to which squad you trust to run the football. And from a total standpoint, this total is going to crash. All right, it's already starting to crash. The 44s and a half are gone. The 44s are gone. The 43.5s aren't going to be there by kickoff. You want under, play it right now because it's only going in one direction.
Outstanding. Great stuff, everybody. Rob Veno, thanks for joining us, guys. Grab Rob the next 3 days, a weekend, $39, literally only $39. 3 days for the price of one. Rob, get out of here, man. Guys, we're going to take a quick go, Teddy.
All the cappers on today's show. Rob Veno, Prez, myself, and, of course, Andy Lang.
Teddy, get out. Rob, get out of here. He's already gone. We're going to take a quick break. Teddy's coming back with his big game breakdown. Andy Lang with some NFL prop bets. And, of course, if we get 100 likes, the daily presidential address.
Thousands of you enjoyed the NHL opening week $9 special, so it's only fair that we offer the NBA fans the same deal. Every NBA daily package for the opening week through Monday, October 25th is just $9. That's right, you will not be paying $25 for a package, nor will you be paying $35 for 5% best bets for the opening week of the NBA, as all daily basketball packages are only $9. Make sure to tune in every Monday through Friday for the NBA tip-off show on WagerTalk TV, and then save and start the NBA season with a slam dunk deal.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk a little Washington football at Green Bay. The Packers, you can lay 7.5 with Green Bay right now. You can take 8.5 with the football team right now. We'll call the prevailing number 8 However, whichever side you like, be sure to get the best of this number. I know 8's not a key number, but every half point matters. Now, I look at the Packers this week and I see an overvalued squad. Fat and happy. They're riding a 5-game winning streak. They're coming off a particularly satisfying divisional win that leaves them with a multi-game margin in first place of the NFC North. If you watched the Green Bay-Chicago game last week, you know how quirky that game was. A couple of key calls/non-calls made all the difference. It wasn't like the Packers dominated start to finish to win that game by double digits. And it's not just a team whose final score was better than they looked, who's fat and happy off a division win, who's laying more than a touchdown in a non-division game. There's also a legitimate look ahead for Green Bay. They play next Thursday, not next Sunday, next Thursday. And who's it against? Oh, a road trip to face the undefeated Arizona Cardinals on a short week. And we can't forget the Packers' injury woes. All right. I understand they were able to get past them last week against a Bears team that can't really throw the football down the field. But Green Bay has cluster injury problems on the offensive line, and they have cluster injury problems in the secondary. More than a touchdown is too much for this one, especially against a Washington team. Ron Rivera called them out after last week's game. Terrible second half last week. Remember, they led the Chiefs at the half last week. It's not a team that has no confidence. More than a touchdown is too much. Give me Washington football plus the points at Lambeau Field on Sunday. And there's your big game breakdown. Back to you.
Nice handicap, Teddy. I like the over in that game. I think we're going to see some scores, but I don't think I'm going to get to the window on actually betting it. Any quick thoughts on that?
No, I have no strong opinion. I worry about Green Bay's offensive line, and I worry about their secondary. And when you have injuries in those two positions, one favors unders, one favors overs. I'm not likely to get involved on the total.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Green Bay's offensive line has been problematic all year to everybody except Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers releasing the ball in under 2.6 seconds on average. I expected it to come into play, but man, that guy is such a veteran. He's so talented. Really hasn't hindered that offense yet. But I get it at some point.
You're saying Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback?
Okay. Andy Lang joining us, everybody. Andy, we love having you. Great work on the NFL presidential address, dude. Some guy gave you a "you suck" in the comment section, so welcome to the team.
Thanks.
Yeah, they're like, he can't pick a winner.
I think I've been doing pretty good. I'm on a 30-unit run since September 26th. That's not bad. It's pretty good,
Andy,
right?
It's small PP syndrome. Some guys have it, some guys don't. What can you do?
Wow.
Guys, Andy Lang, let's go, dude. Robert Tonyan. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Receiving yards. What do you got?
Well, real quick, you guys brought up the Colts and 49ers. While you guys were talking about the weather, I was just looking at the Colts injury report, and that's another piece of that game to look at. Colts, a ton of injuries on the defensive line. So in a game that could require a lot of running, check the injury report because the Colts could be shorthanded or some guys at less than 100%. So it's a great spot to look at the under on that game. But yeah, Robert Tonyan, under 19.5 yards receiving. The books made a huge mistake last week. They accidentally put his total out at 30.5 yards, and within about 5 minutes it was down to 20. But Tanyan's gone under this total in 5 out of 6 games this season. He only has one game this season over 10 yards. He's not a downfield threat. He doesn't have a catch longer than 8 yards in the last 4 games. Randall Cobb has been a nice option for the offense in the middle of the field, so Tonyan doesn't get those targets. And Mercedes Lewis is becoming the receiving tight end for the Packers. Lewis has 34 yards and 17 yards the last 2 weeks, and Tanyan's snap count has gone down the last 3 weeks. Lewis's snap counts have been going up. Washington is not great against tight ends, but it sure looks to me like Mercedes Lewis is the pass-catching tight end for the Packers. So I'm going to keep playing Robert Tonyan under his receiving total. 19.5 is not a lot, but he's not getting it done on offense. Mercedes Lewis is. This is a pretty easy underplay for me here.
So I'm looking last week, he had 3 targets, which is the second most that he's had since the second week of the season. Does that concern you at all? Then again, he hasn't caught a pass longer than 8 yards since the second week of the season against Detroit. Why is this number where it is? Is this just one of these stories where, I mean, if they took a bunch of under money last week, wouldn't they adjust more this week? Or is it just one of these numbers they're putting out a whole lot of lines right now and not putting a whole lot of thought into something?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time digging through these props, and the reason we spend all that time is to find gems like this. This has been an under cash the last few weeks, and even though you mentioned he had 3 targets, what do you have, 10 yards? So they're just, and I watched a lot of that game, and those were just little dump offs when Rodgers got pushed out of the pocket and just had to throw it somewhere. Mercedes Lewis is getting actual routes. Tanyan's more of the blocking. As far as this number, I mean, 19.5 is not a lot, but I'm just not seeing enough. And yeah, I don't think it's the right number. I would play this down to 15.5 yards. I don't see him getting many targets moving forward.
And just to be clear, Robert Tonyan, not a household name. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers. What's he? Their backup tight end.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of props in the modern betting market.
And you know what? I mean, Teddy, you and I do a lot of work. You do way more work than me, but Jesus, can you imagine having to scour through the prop bet sections every day to find prop bets? I mean, Andy, it's no wonder you don't sleep. I'm just assuming you don't sleep. I mean, just based on looking at you.
No, I sleep a lot. I mean, hey, we cashed a good prop last night. Clint Capella to have a double. Because we're responsible bettors, we put the play in early in the day. We got the best number, and then 30 minutes before game time, he's on a minutes restrictions. Hey, he's on a minutes restrictions. How fun is that? And then he still got there though. He actually still got the double. But you search long enough, you'll find those gems.
Dude, it kills me, man. Last night in one of the hockey games, guy blocks 2 shots on the same shift, cannot stand on one leg, remains on the ice trying to defend with like tears dripping down his face, and all he could think of is those freaking basketball wusses. Anyway, Calvin Ridley, what do you got for us?
I'm going to play a little bet on regression.
Restriction.
Well, he's coming off an Achilles injury.
Like second game. I think I just swore. Oh.
It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Calvin Ridley over 24.5 yards on his longest reception. This is a bit of a regression play because he does not have one catch over this total this year, but that streak is not going to last forever. He played in 15 games last year and cashed this over in 9 of those games. I think this is a great week for him to finally get loose for a big play. We've started to see the Falcons offense come alive a little bit the last couple weeks. Matt Ryan's average length of completion has been steadily going up this season. First game of the year, it was about 4.4 yards. Last week, it's up over 7 yards. Matt Ryan had a 39-yard completion to Kyle Pitts last week. He had a 42-yard completion the week before. Ridley took a week off for personal reasons. I expect him to come back refreshed. And they're playing a Dolphins defense that is getting gashed in big plays. They gave up 2 passes over 24.5 yards last week to Jacksonville. They gave up 2 passes over this total to Tampa Bay and 2 passes over this total to the Colts. So I just think that this streak for Ridley not getting loose for one is going to come to an end very soon. This could be a great week for it. So I'm going to go out on a limb and take Calvin Ridley over 24.5 yards on the longest reception.
So a big part of the reason why Jacksonville was able to throw the football as well as they were against Miami last week was the fact that both of the Dolphins starting cornerbacks were out. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, both guys are still officially listed as questionable for this week. Does it matter to you if they play or not? If Miami has their first stringers at cornerback, is this one we want to wait to see if those guys are in, or you just bet it now and don't worry about the Dolphins' 2 shutdown corners, whether they play or not on Sunday?
I'm going to play it. Miami's in an interesting spot. There's a lot of turmoil going on with that team. And I mean, that was a pretty bad loss to Jacksonville. And yeah, those guys are studs. I mean, when healthy and when motivated, this is a team that, has one of the best secondaries in the league. But questionable still means they might be a little bit hobbled. And if we play it now and they don't play, we're getting incredible value. So, and like I said, it really is amazing. Ridley has not caught a long pass this year. I mean, it's a big skill set for him. That streak is going to come to an end. And I just think this is a good week to play him there.
Andy Lang, everybody. Guys, we have 3 minutes to get 30 more likes or there will not be an NFL a daily presidential address. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I've done the work, but I'll shelve it. It's no problem. Andy, breaking news. Russell Westbrook did not get 9.5 hours of sleep last night. And as a result is on a restricted minute situation tonight. James Conner, bro. Talk to me.
So just so you guys know, Prez is not telling the truth. He's making something up that might confuse some of our viewers.
Oh, my God.
Westbrook
How
is not.
stupid do you... I consider... listeners out there, I'm sorry for Teddy insulting your intelligence.
You're supposed to pay attention to what we say. When you go on and say
9.5 hours of sleep.
You need to make it clear, haha, it's a joke. Otherwise, you know what people are like, Prez. We don't want to give out inaccurate information. Lang.
Yes.
Andy, breaking news. Teddy did not get 9.5 hours of sleep and is now on a restriction situation. Oh my God, Teddy.
I think Johnny might be restricting a lot of things moving forward. Actually, Russell Westbrook, I was big on this one. Look at Russell Westbrook's props under while they try and figure this out. While the Lakers try and figure that system out. He's a little bit of a mess, and LeBron and AD are not going to let him get all those nonsensical rebounds. So you're going to cash a lot of under on Russell Westbrook props. All right, let's finish up my last play here. James Conner over 54.5 yards rushing. This is about a shoulder injury to Chase Edmonds. Last week, Chase Edmonds gets a rush for 40 yards, and then he only rushed 3 more times the rest of the game. Game got out of control. There's no reason to put him in harm's way with that shoulder injury. So Conner gets the lion's share, rushed 16 times for 71 yards. And this week, they face the Houston Texans, second worst rush defense in the league. What better game to rest Chase Edmonds and get him healthy than this game where there should be up most of the game? Connor's going to get a lot of carries and a lot of work. This is a bad rush defense. I look for Arizona to get ahead and hand the ball off to Conner a lot. This is a real easy play for me, over 54.5 yards rushing.
Outstanding stuff. Andy Lang, everybody. And you guys can get 3 days of Andy, Teddy, myself, or Robert Veno for only $39. Use the promo code WEEKEND39. We need 6 more likes. And we need him by the time Andy is done promoting what he has going on this weekend.
Well, actually, this 3-day promo code works really well for the sports that I do. We've got golf. We've got NASCAR. We're putting up all the football props today. And we have NBA props. We're off to a 3-1 start. I made it a point to cash in big on the double-double plays and the double-double parlays that the U.S. markets offer, and we've won both of them that we've played earlier on the season. So actually today, this promo code works out really well for my stuff. What do I have this weekend? 5% NFL play is up. We're 5-1 this season, and of course, we got the prop pack. We'll have NASCAR plays on Sunday and basketball all the way through the weekend.
Andy Lang, everybody. Teddy, we're at 98. We need to get to 100, but we had a guy yesterday log on and say, Prez, I missed the show live, but my like is coming. So I'll include him. We just hit 100. Daily presidential address, everyone. Let's go. God, I wish they would tape the dancing that goes on. It's just awesome. I mean, Andy Lang was doing a jig. Anyway, everybody, let's start right off the bat with the promo code of promo codes. Weekend 39. If you guys did not see the show today, Wager Talk Today, we had Rob Veno and Andy Lang on. Of course, Teddy and myself. You can use that promo code weekend39 for any of the 4 of us, me, Teddy, Andy, or Rob Veno. 3 days for the price of 1. I have my first 5% play of the season in NHL going tonight. I got 5 plays in college football tomorrow. I got a bunch of NFL plays, including a 5% play. I got baseball and NBA along the way. So weekend 39, please take advantage of that. I am betting these games, guys. Here's 4 picks for you all. I'm betting 3 of them. I do have a pit bull play, a dog that bites, but I'll only be betting a small amount on that. The first is the Rams under. I'm playing the Rams under because I don't think this Rams team wants to destroy anybody. I think they want to win games, get the hell out of Dodge, even if that Dodge happens to be their house. I think they're going to play tight. I think they're going to get up a lead on Detroit, and then they're going to slow it down. That's a big line take under the total. I also like the Bengals, and Teddy and I and Rob Veno all discussed that. Teddy leans on the Bengals. I lean on the Bengals. And I would not be blown away if they won that game. As for hockey, I like the Dallas Stars tonight. And my pit bull play is the undefeated Buffalo Sabres. That's it for me. Teddy, I got a busy day. It's Vivian's birthday today. Happy birthday, my love. Gonna be a fun night. Dude, I'm going for lunch with the most annoying guy on the planet, excluding you, Brian. You know who it was.
Say,
you knew
Brian,
who I was going to say.
Tell Brian I said hi.
Oh, God.
Give him my best.
Oh, God.
That's going to wrap it for the week here at the WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again next week, Monday through Friday, every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon for you back east. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games, and good luck.
Thousands of you enjoyed the NHL opening week $9 special, so it's only fair that we offer the NBA fans the same deal. Every NBA daily package for the opening week through Monday, October 25th is just $9. That's right, you will not be paying $25 for a package, nor will you be paying $35 for 5% best bets for the opening week of the NBA, as all daily basketball packages are only $9. Make sure to tune in every Monday through Friday for the NBA tip-off show on WagerTalk TV, and then save and start the NBA season with a slam dunk deal.